Welcome children. Today we will start with electrostatic shielding. What is electrostatic shielding? Using Gauss law, we proved that the electric field inside the charged spherical shell is zero. Further, we showed that the electric field inside both hollow and solid conductors is zero. It is a very interesting property which has an important consequence. Electrostatic shielding is defined as it is a process of isolating a certain region of space from external electric field. It is based on the fact that electric field inside the conductor is zero. So whatever the consider a cavity here. Here it is a cavity inside a conductor. Whatever the charges at the surface and whatever the electrical disturbances outside, the electric field inside the cavity is zero. A sensitive electrical instrument which is to be protected from external electrical disturbance is kept inside this cavity. This is called electrostatic shielding. எந்த ஒரு ஆப்ஜெக்டையும் protect பண்ணணும் அப்படின்னு சொன்னாக்க, if it is placed inside this cavity, it will be protected because the electric field here is zero. Gauss law applications-லயே பார்த்தோம் நம்ம. அதனால எந்த ஒரு சார்ஜஸா இருந்தாலும் வெளியில தான் அது ஸ்ப்ரெட் ஆயிருக்குமே ஒழிய உள்ளுக்குள்ள அந்த சார்ஜஸ் இருக்காது. So Faraday cage is an instrument used to demonstrate this effect. It is made up of metal bars as shown in this figure. It is if an artificial lightning jolt is created outside, the person inside is not affected. Artificial வெளியில ஒரு மின்னல் மாதிரி ஆர்டிஃபிஷியலா நம்ம ப்ரொடியூஸ் பண்ணாலும் உள்ளுக்குள்ள இருக்கிற பர்சனுக்கு எதுவும் ஆகாது. எலக்ட்ரிக் கரண்ட் வந்து எதுவும் பாஸ் ஆகாது. திஸ் இஸ் கால்ட் Faraday cage. அதனால நம்ம என்ன சொல்லலாம்னாக்கா, இட் இஸ் சேஃபர் டு சிட் இன்சைட் அ கார் தேன் ஸ்டாண்டிங் அண்டர் த ஓப்பன் கிரவுண்ட் ஆர் அண்டர் எ ட்ரீ. ஏன் அப்படி சொல்றோம் அப்படின்னு சொன்னாக்கா, எலக்ட்ரிக் ஃபீல்ட் அந்த காருக்குள்ள எப்படி இருக்கும்னாக்கா ஜீரோவா இருக்கும். அதனால எலக்ட்ரிக் டிஸ்சார்ஜ் என்ன ஆகும், இட் பாசஸ் த்ரூ த பாடி ஆஃப் த கார், அது வழியா கிரவுண்ட் ஆயிடும். அதனால உள்ளுக்குள்ள இருக்கிற பர்சனுக்கு எந்த விதமான சேதமும் ஏற்படாது. அதனால தான் இடி மின்னல்லாம் இருக்கும்போது எங்க இருக்கணும் அப்படின்னு சொன்னாக்க, இட் இஸ் சேஃபர் டு சிட் இன்சைட் எ கார் ஆர் அ பஸ். மரத்துக்கு அடியில நிக்கிறதோட இது வந்து சேஃப். So the metal shell of the train or the car forms something known as a Faraday cage, which blocks electric fields and currents and keeps passengers safe from lightning strikes. So if lightning strikes, the cage conducts electric current through the exterior shell of the train, not through the cabin, and it passes through the wheels to the track. The train is grounded to the track. It is not only applicable for the train, it is applicable for any vehicle, whether it is a car or a bus. The next topic is electrostatic induction. What is electrostatic induction? Charging without actual contact is called electrostatic induction. So we have learnt that an object can be charged by rubbing using an appropriate material. Whenever a charged rod is touched by another conductor, charges start to flow from charged rod to the conductor. Is it possible to charge a conductor without any contact? The answer is yes. This type of charging without actual contact is called electrostatic induction. Here we are going to explain it with various steps. Consider an uncharged conducting sphere at rest. So, this is kept on an insulating stand. Suppose a negatively charged rod is brought near the conductor without touching it. Before the rod was brought near the sphere consists of equal number of positive and negative charges which are uniformly distributed over the sphere. But when the rod is brought near the sphere, what will happen? This rod is negatively charged. As a result, the positive charges in the sphere are attracted towards the negatively charged rod and the negative charges are repelled away. As a result, there will be distribution of charges, positive charges at one side and negative charges at the other side. In the second step, what you have to do is you have to connect a wire to the ground. So this wire is connected with the sphere and this process is called grounding. So what will happen if the sphere is grounded? The negative charges quickly removed from the sphere and they are grounded. They are removed to the ground and the sphere will, the positive charges in the sphere will not move because the negatively charged rod is still nearer to the sphere. So the positive charges remain in one side of the sphere. Look at the third case. Now the wire is removed. Again there is no uniform distribution of positive charges because the rod is still there. So the positive charges are attracted by the rod, so they still remain in the same place. And if you remove the rod from the if the rod is removed from the sphere, what will happen? Immediately the positive charges are uniformly distributed on the surface of the sphere. And this is applicable for uniformly shaped objects. For other objects, arbitrarily shaped objects, that is if it is not evenly shaped, in that case the distribution of charges will also be different. Here it is a regular shaped object, that's why the distribution of charges is also even. This is about electrostatic induction. The next important topic is dielectrics or insulators. What are dielectrics? Dielectric is nothing but a non-conducting material which has no free electrons. We know in an atom the electrons are arranged in shells and each shell consists of definite number of electrons. So if all the shells are completely filled, then there is no possibility for the electrons to move from its place. As a result, they will become an insulator or dielectric. Examples for dielectric are ebonite, glass, mica, ceramics, plastics, distilled water. These are all some of the examples for dielectrics. When an external electric field is applied, the electrons are not free to move anywhere, but they are realigned in a specific way. A dielectric is made up of either polar molecules or non-polar molecules. So a dielectric material is a type of insulator which becomes polarized when it comes in contact with an electric field. It can easily support an electrostatic field even though it is not a conductor of electricity. Such materials are used in many places, such as in capacitors and radios, as well as transmission lines for radio frequency. So let us see what are non-polar molecules. A non-polar molecule is the one in which centers of positive and negative charges coincide. So if you look at the atom, there is a center for positive and negative charges. If they coincide with each other, then they are called non-polar molecules. So it has no permanent dipole moment. What do you mean by dipole moment? Positive and negative charges, when they are separated by a small distance, constitute a dipole, and the magnitude of dipole moment is equivalent to product of one of the charges and the distance between them. So we cannot calculate the dipole moment for these type of non-polar molecules because there is no separation between the positive and negative charges. And examples for non-polar molecules are hydrogen, oxygen, carbon dioxide, etc. So what will happen when an external field is applied? So this will be the condition when no electric field is applied. If external field is applied, what will happen? The centers of positive and negative charges are separated by a small distance, which induces dipole moment in the direction of the external electric field. Then the dielectric is said to be polarized by an external electric field. So what are polar molecules? As I told you earlier, if there is no separation between the centers of positive and negative charges, they are non-polar molecules. Polar molecule is the one in which the centers of the positive charge and negative charges are separated even in the absence of an external electric field. They have a permanent dipole moment. Permanent dipole moment means, for example, here oxygen, hydrogen, water molecule. The centers are separated from each other. As a result, the dipole moments be like this. And the centers are separated. As a result, it consists of dipole moment. They have permanent dipole moment. And examples for polar molecules are H2O, N2O, HCl and NH3. So what will happen when an external electric field is applied? The dipoles inside the polar molecule tend to align in the direction of the field. Hence, a net dipole moment is induced in it. Then the dielectric is said to be polarized by an external electric field. What is meant by polarization? In the presence of external electric field, the dipole moment is induced in the dielectric material. Polarization is defined as the dipole moment per unit volume of the dielectric. So, a dipole moment is induced because of the external electric field. And how much dipole moment is produced within a unit volume? It is a measure of polarization. For most dielectrics, the polarization is directly proportional to the strength of the external electric field. Depending upon the strength of the electric field, the polarization differs. The production of dipole moments differs. So the polarization is directly proportional to external electric field, or P is equal to chi E external electric field. This chi E is a constant called the electric susceptibility. This is called electric susceptibility, which is a character. Now we are going to study induced electric field. inside the dielectric. So when an external electric field is applied on a conductor, the charges are aligned in such a way that an internal electric field is created which cancels the external electric field. But in the case of a dielectric which has no free electrons, the external electric field only realigns the charges so that an internal electric field is produced. The magnitude of the internal electric field is smaller than that of the external electric field. Therefore, the net electric field inside the dielectric is not zero but is parallel to an external electric field with magnitude less than that of the external electric field. For example, let us consider a rectangular dielectric slab placed between two oppositely charged plates. So this is the diagram for the polar molecule which are randomly oriented in the absence of an external electric field. As I told you earlier, this is a polar molecule. Here they have permanent dipole moments and they are oriented randomly, so the net dipole moment is equal to 0. Now what we are doing is, we are applying an external electric field to this dielectric which is placed within the electric field. So what will happen? So the uniform electric field between the plates acts as an external electric field which polarizes the dielectric placed between the plates. So it polarizes. The positive charges are induced on one side surface and the negative charges are induced on the other side of the surface. For example, here you see a conductor. So this represents the external electric field which starts from the positive charge and ends at the negative charge. So this is the direction of the external electric field. Now this dielectric is placed inside this electric field. So they have random motion of dipole moments, but in the presence of electric field, these dipole moments, they arrange themselves in a particular direction. So this consists of positive charges and this consists of negative charges. So the dipole moments they arrange themselves like this. So in one side the negative charges are arranged because it is nearer to the positive charge, and here the positive charges are arranged. So the negative charges will be arranged away from the electric field. So if you look at this diagram, here the negative charges, they are arranged towards the positive side and the positive charges are arranged nearer to the negative side. Now it produces an internal electric field. So the internal electric field is represented as E internal. Here this is the internal electric field and it is acting opposite to the direction of external electric field. So the external electric field acts in this direction. And what is the direction of the internal electric field? It acts in this direction because it flows from positive to negative. Here is the positive charge and here is the negative charge. So internal electric field acts opposite to that of the external electric field. As a result, there is a net electric field because they are active in the opposite directions. As a result, the total electric field decreases. Inside the dielectric, the net charge is 0 even in a very small volume. So the dielectric in the external field is equivalent to two oppositely charged sheets with the surface charge densities sigma b and minus sigma b. Here in this side it consists of only positive charges, so the surface charge densities are plus sigma b, and here only negative charges are arranged this side and it constitutes minus sigma b. These charges are called bound charges. They are not free to move like free electrons in conductors. So from this what you understand, if you keep a dielectric inside an external electric field, an internal electric field is created inside the dielectric which opposes the external electric field. The next topic is dielectric strength. What is dielectric strength? When an external electric field applied to a dielectric is very large, it tears the atoms apart so that the bound charges become free charges. Then the dielectric starts to conduct electricity. This is called dielectric breakdown. So if a very large electric field is applied, what happens? The atoms are moved far apart and it produces large amount of free charges. Therefore, the dielectric will become a conductor now, and this condition is called dielectric breakdown. The maximum electric field the dielectric can withstand before it breaks down is called dielectric strength. The maximum electric field the dielectric can withstand. The dielectric can withstand. Before it breaks down. Before breakdown is called dielectric strength. The dielectric strength of air is, for air, the value is 3 into 10 power 6 volt per meter. If the applied electric field increases beyond this, a spark is produced in the air which shows that the dielectric becomes